Carrie, you're muted.
Oh, well, there we go. I'm having a whole conversation. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies. I'm literally saying, you guys unmute your mics. Hi, everyone in the audience. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so sorry that we're definitely running on Caribbean time today. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Sana. Hi, Simone.
Hi.
Hey.
Do you want to just turn the camera the other way so that we can see you properly?
Me?
Yes. So just switch it so that it's horizontal and not vertical.
Yeah, I'm using my phone, but I have my laptop. Is this better?
Yeah, much better. And to everyone in the audience that's joining us on YouTube and Facebook, can you just drop some comments so that we know that you're hearing us properly? Let us know if you need to adjust anything. Make sure that you're seeing us. Let us know that the audio is good. How are you ladies doing today?
Pretty good. Excited.
Yes, this is going to be great. A quick second here to make sure that everyone can hear us properly. So YouTube folks, we can see all of your comments. Hi everyone, welcome. Okay, so Kevin said we sound good. Just make sure we hear from maybe one or two other people. Ladies are looking beautiful as ever. I'm gonna apologize in advance, and now there's probably gonna be some background noise a little bit, but I'll try to filter it as much as possible. Last minute-ish. Hi Gabby, hi Kevin. Okay, so it looks like everyone should be hearing us properly. So welcome again, ladies. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Project Mental. This is the first episode of our series. It's called Project. Tonight we will be discussing the world of mental health. This show project is about projecting and focusing on a variety of topics as it affects the Caribbean diaspora and our communities. Today's topic is very important, and we definitely need to have more of these conversations when it comes to mental health in our community. Before we actually start, we are doing a special tribute for Shai at the end of this episode. So I'm just going to play a quick video of everyone, can just have a moment of silence for the beautiful Shai.
Sometimes you love too hard, sometimes you go too far. No, I won't want you if you need me. Real things do not come easy, no. Never been your average girl. So take time with me, take time. Baby, talk to me with some action. We could find a place for your passion, no. Cool down someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love.
Oh, forgive more, love more. That's so beautiful. I think we lost a person. Where is Sana? We're actually going to start with Sana, so maybe she's having a little bit of technical difficulties. Let's see what's happening here. Did she just get disconnected?
Probably during the video.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? In that case, we will just, until she comes back in. Simone, we'll just jump right into this. I know we were running a few minutes late. As I said, I do apologize. So Simone, we'll just kick it off with you. So Simone Evans is a licensed mental health counselor. She specializes in trauma, family dynamics, depression, and anxiety treatments. Simone has an interest in Caribbean diaspora culture, international travel, and empowering other people who are experiencing the high and lows of life, especially during this ongoing global pandemic and civil unrest. So Simone will be chatting with us today. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. You can go right ahead.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Simone. I'm a therapist based in Central Florida. And today we will be talking about trauma, window of tolerance, and we're going to be practicing some coping skills. Hopefully y'all can see me okay. I have it on my phone. Can y'all see the whiteboard or no? I need to tilt it, right? Is that better? Hopefully. Okay. So we're going to talk about some coping skills. First of all, I wanted us to talk about Soca. What are some of your favorite soca songs? I'm going to try and read what we're saying. Let me multitask, pull up YouTube. So what are some songs that we enjoy that are like kind of uplifting, whether it's soca, gospel, reggae? What are some songs that we kind of like to use? So feel free to comment in this section. I'm trying to pull up YouTube so I can like read and work at the same time. But we're going to go into the window of tolerance. Okay, so window of tolerance is about, it's about our ways that we interact with ourselves and how we present. So for example, if we, for the top, it's red, it's hyperarousal. So what does that look like, being in hyperarousal? For some people, that looks like maybe, you know, having outbursts or being aggressive. For other people, that could be substance abuse or eating disorders. Okay, so at the top in the red, we have hyperarousal. In this, a lot of times we will jump from one to the other, right? So we're going from hyperarousal, fight or flight, which I call like the caveman zone. And then we will ping pong to the other extreme, which is hypoarousal. So that looks like freeze or a deer in headlights, okay? So that's shutting down, sometimes isolating from other people. Give me 1 second because I want it to be more interactive with a group, and I was hoping I could pull it up on YouTube, the stream, so I can at least see if like the comments that are being made on the YouTube. Okay, perfect. I have it up here. My internet's a little slow. But feel the love. Okay, I got it now. I got it. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm having some issues with technical stuff. But yeah, so I see the comments. Hi, Chelsea. Feel the love. Okay, dope. Voice by any means. My internet's a little delayed, y'all, so just bear with me. Here comes the sun, the Beatles, crying loud. Hey, Nadia, how are you? Hi, Alexia, that's my niece. Okay, awesome. So my internet's a little slow, but I'll do it off the phone. I think that's faster. Okay, so I love a lot of different soca songs. They can be very uplifting, especially in the morning time if you're getting ready. In the evenings, I like to play something a little more relaxing, or I listen to audiobooks. But soca music is definitely upbeat. I even have one of my cups. Side note, I brought one of my little cups that I got made for Trinidad Carnival. So I have a little drink in it. Okay, so we're gonna get back on topic. Hyperarousal, what does that look like? So what does it look like when we are in our caveman mode, right? Whenever we're having outbursts. So in the comments, can you write, what does it look like? Ramp Up by Michelle, awesome. Stay close to me, okay. So can y'all put in the comments, what do you think it looks like when you're in hyperarousal? When you're kind of up there on your ladder with your outbursts or aggression, like what does that look like for you if you're being triggered or dealing with a trauma response in your body? Okay, so let me see what y'all are saying. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay. So I'm gonna start writing some things up here. Hopefully I don't block the camera. So I'm putting aggression, that's a big one, right? Then, believe it or not, I know Caribbean people, we love our drinks, right? We like to have our drinks on the road. But substance abuse can be a bit of an issue when it comes to being in hyperarousal, okay? So too many drinks, maybe at a certain time, that is a bit of an issue, right? Or we have our functioning, right? When we're functioning, we work, we do what we got to do, but maybe on the weekends or at certain carnival events, our drinking is like a bit of an issue, okay? So I'm gonna put essay for substance abuse. What else do we have? Let me go back to the comments. Partying, having fun, being free. Okay, so wait. Oh, so some of what y'all are saying is, okay, partying, having fun is, I'm going to put that in the circle. I don't know if y'all can see this comfort zone right here. That's where we want to be, hopefully, for partying in a healthy way. Having fun, being free and happy, that's going to be in our comfort zone. So I'm going to use green to put that in the comfort zone. Being free, partying, hopefully partying in a healthy way, right? What else are we saying? Okay, so Julie, when you saying you don't want to talk, you just get quiet, that's hypoarousal. That's when we're shutting down. I call it a deer in headlights. So I'm going to put that in blue because it's in the bottom. It's the box in the bottom that's blue. Stephen, erratic behavior, that is definitely hyperarousal, okay? If you've seen Inside Out, the movie, that little red guy that blows up, that's hyperarousal, okay? So I'm going to Julie put shutting down, isolating, shutting down. Okay, erratic behaviors definitely goes at the top. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Okay, so erratic. What does erratic look like? What else? Hopefully y'all can see. I know it's kind of hard. Hopefully y'all can see the whiteboard. Okay, so erratic, what else are we saying? No, Nadia, you're good. Shutting down is hypoarousal, so we're gonna do that. There's also disassociation for hypoarousal. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not used to having my camera this way, so the wig heads are in the corner. Just ignore those. Okay, so bottle feeling. We're gonna put that at the bottom. That is hypoarousal. Avoiding, ghosting people. I'm the queen of doing that. I'm just gonna avoid you. Y'all, be patient with me. Today's been a day. Avoiding. Yeah, my wig. Listen, we multitasking, okay, with the wig heads. Unable to respond properly. Yes, Stephen, that is so right. Okay, aggression, substance abuse, erratic, eating disorders. We don't talk about eating. Sorry, I'm all over the place. We don't talk about eating disorders a lot, but eating disorders are binge eating, right? Overeating or anorexia nervosa or disorder eating. Those go into hyperarousal. If you're having difficulty following what we're doing window of tolerance, and we are doing, it's called polyvagal theory. So we're just talking about when we are triggered, and we're going into this extreme behavior, and then whenever we're shutting down. The goal is to get to the middle, the green, which is why I put palm trees, right? Palm trees are flexible. They kind of go with the flow. They go with the wind. So we definitely want to get to our own coping mechanisms, whatever that looks like, okay? What else are y'all saying? There's like a delay. Okay, so we're talking about how you personally react, whether you're triggered, you're upset, if you're up here, you know, like an 8 out of a 10, you know, an emotional thermometer. So for hyperarousal, I'm just adding up there, what does it look like? If you're reacting to, for example, a breakup or losing your job or the ongoing pandemic. So that's what we're talking about in hyperarousal. So we've done some hypoarousal as well, which is the shutting down, freeze response. And then, okay, so let's do some of the green. Let's do the comfort zone and self-regulation. What does that look like? So some of y'all earlier were saying being free, partying. We're in a pandemic. So what does that look like? How do we cope in a healthy way? For me, I like to be in nature. So that's something that I do that's pretty helpful for me. So I'm going to put time in nature. All right, so for example, yoga. Yes, Nicole, yoga is so important. And we're actually going to practice something today that helps with yoga. So when they say breathe and, be present in the moment, or they say meet me on the mat, that's all of that is part of comfort zone, okay? Being in our coping skills. And that's important because a lot of times if we're in hyperarousal, we have this big outburst, right? That's not healthy. We could lose our job. We could like push people away. If we go to hypoarousal, we are isolating, right? So we are rejecting people. But if we can get back into our comfort zone, that's awesome. Watching shows, music, journaling. Yes, Colleen. Okay. Okay, thank you for the feedback, Colleen. Okay, so yeah, journaling is important. All right, so I don't want to just talk about the problem. I definitely want to get into some solutions. All right, so what keeps us in the comfort zone, right? Some people have a really small comfort zone. They've been through a lot of trauma in their lives. Maybe they have different attachment issues or rejection that they've dealt with. So they have a really small comfort zone, that green circle. So in that situation, you want to build your comfort zone. So instead of being reactive and blowing up, we got to kind of de-escalate. We got to kind of be in that middle zone. The reason we want to over here is because it's not just coping skills. That's not just everything perfect, right? Coping skills help you get back to the frontal lobe, that more mature part of our brain that helps us with decision-making skills, helps us, it's developed when we're 25 years or older, it's fully developed, okay? So the goal is to make new and healthier choices. So instead of blowing up at somebody, maybe we can use our coping skills and then kind of de-escalate a little bit. Okay. And then if we're able to de-escalate, we can make new choices. When we make new choices, there's new end results. All right. So I don't know if I have to wrap up. Kara, I have to wrap up, right, Kara? Let me know.
Yes.
Okay, no worries. I will go
have a minute to wrap up.
forever.
No problem. I see a lot of people are commenting in the chat box, so you have a minute or so.
Okay, so I'm gonna do one. Okay, so we want to stay in the comfort zone as much as possible. So I wanted to model at least one coping skill that we can do, and then other people are going to be talking about coping skills as well. So we're going to try to use a coping skill to deal with triggers or negative core beliefs, right? When we have negative beliefs about ourselves that pop up, or self-defeating thoughts, we're going to use our coping skills to kind of come back down from that. All right, so really quickly, I'm going to do one of the diaphragm breathing. If you're an athlete, if you're a singer, you're kind of familiar with this. So diaphragm breathing is basically belly breathing, okay? So instead of doing our upper chest breathing, we're going to do stomach breathing. So the goal is to, when you're breathing in, we're going to breathe in through our nose, hold the breath for, breathe in through our nose, inhale for 3 seconds. Hold that breath for about 2 seconds, and then exhale through the mouth like you're blowing out some candles or blowing some bubbles for 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to try to do it. Sorry, it's a little hard for me to do my phone and ignore my messy background. All right, so hand on my chest, hand on my belly. The goal is for the hand that's on my belly to move more than the hand that's on my chest, okay? So I'm going to take a nice deep inhale in, push that air. You can do it with me if you want to. Push the air deeper. All right, so I'm going to take a nice deep inhale in. Hold that breath for 2 seconds and exhale for 5. I'm trying to find my angles. All right. Inhale in for 3 seconds. Hold for 2 and exhale for 5. All right. That's it. Use your coping skills.
Thank you so much, Simone.
No problem. Thank you, everyone. This is a great conversation.
So next up, we have Sana Jindani. Before I actually introduce Sana, so to all of you guys who are just tuning in, welcome to GenX Project Mental. We are so happy to have you guys here. We are focusing on mental health today. Again, a very important conversation that needs to be discussed amongst our community. So Sana is a mental health therapist specializing in substance use disorders and co-occurring disorders. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in clinical psychology with a concentration in psychodynamic therapy. Sana emphasizes the utilization of self-care and power of coping skills in one's everyday life. Welcome, Sana. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Kara. And, I'm sorry about all of the technical difficulties. My power went out for a second, and I know there were other things happening backstage, but I'm really happy to be here, very excited, and I'm glad to see so many familiar faces as well as some new ones that we'll get some exposure to. I wanted to start off by saying, thank you to the entire GenX family for bringing awareness and shedding light on such a deeply important topic. This topic is specifically dear to me for so many reasons, both professionally and personally, as it directly affected my sister-in-law, Shai. I'm really happy to see us talking about mental health today, given that mental health has been and will always be an ever-growing notion. Today, as we're aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has only been exacerbated and been associated with many mental health challenges related to the impact of physical distancing and the stay-at-home orders, basically from different different states. So this is an incredible platform for us to talk about some of those challenges that many have been experiencing, myself included, now that we're almost a year into the pandemic, but also some stuff prior to the pandemic and hopefully post-pandemic as well. So today I'm going to touch on three, topics briefly. I'm going to talk about 1, why is mental health so important? 2, the impact that it has on our lives. And then 3, we'll kind of explore different coping skills and how to create your own list of coping skills that you can actually use on a regular basis. So let's begin with why mental health is so important today, now more than ever. Just to give you some statistics, prior to COVID, nearly 1 in every 5 US adults, so roughly like 47 million US adults, reported having some sort of mental illness just within the past year. This is, again, pre-COVID. But now, pandemic, when everything's going on, the pandemic has shown to induce general stress across populations and may even lead to new mental health and substance use issues. There's some research now to show that other symptoms of like anxiety disorders and depressive disorders have increased considerably in the United States since just April to June of 2020. And that's compared to the same period of April to June in 2019. Some of this stress is directly related to things which we really couldn't control during the pandemic, such as, lost a job or any sort of like income insecurity. So why am I speaking about this? It's not really to scare anybody. The pandemic has affected everyone in one shape or another. But of an initial response to the coronavirus crisis, there were a lot of mandatory stay-at-home orders. It generally prohibited large gatherings requiring everyone to quarantine. Travelers couldn't, do that anymore. There was a lot of stuff that we used to do that we couldn't do. And now we have to come up with these new ways to kind of live with social distancing and virtual things. There's a broad variety of research that links social isolation and loneliness to both poor mental health and physical health. And since it has affected everyone around the world, it is time that we, end this stigma that's been attached to mental health and we find better ways to beat the impact that mental health has on all of us. And then you need to remember that you're not alone. Remember, this is affecting everyone. It really comes down to basic science. See, your mental health can be affected by stress. And when people feel threatened or their lives are altered in any major, unwanted, or unanticipated ways, communication between their prefrontal cortex, which is the executive center of the brain, and the amygdala, the emotional processing center, is disrupted. So what happens is that when this is disrupted, it leads to a production of stress hormones that can really cause a lot of distress in the body and in the mind. So what does this look like? It's an increased heart rate. It is changes in respiration, muscle tension, irritability, disruptions in sleep, in food appetite, concentration, repetitive thoughts involving danger and helplessness. So you might be thinking, well, I handle stress pretty well. I've been stressing my whole life, school, college, kids, marriage, whatever. Why is this any different? Well, we kind of talked about the different themes that the pandemic has brought upon us, but it also has brought upon some unexpected themes of bereavement, isolation, loss of income, all of that fear that triggers our mental health conditions or even exacerbate the existing ones. And many people have been facing these increased themes alone, which impacts the level of alcohol and drug use, insomnia, and anxiety. Many times, like I said, your mental health also impacts your physical health. And these themes may occur at different points in people's life, whether it's a pandemic or not. For example, teenagers go through a transition. Couples go through different walks of life. Anyone can lose their job, maybe a new baby. Anyone at any point can go through an identity shift or crisis. And, the list can go on. Stress can happen all the time. So now the next question you may be wondering is, well, what can I do? How can I make sure I'm balancing out my mental well-being? What may be a surprising bit of advice on preventing long-term mental health issues is to actually allow yourself to fully experience your uncomfortable emotions, as overwhelming as they may feel. So it's important to remain aware of your situation. And if you feel frightened, give yourself permission to feel that. These are human emotions. They need to be out in the open. You can allow yourself to sit with uncomfortable feelings about being anxious and lonely and fearful, and be compassionate to yourself in that moment. It's okay. One thing I like to tell my clients and everyone around me is control what you can. A big part of feeling hopeless is feeling that everything is out of your control. Remind yourself of what you can control. For example, like your morning routine. What time you get out of bed, what do you eat, who you might keep in touch with. It might seem like a really small effort and a small impact, but being consistent with these little things can make a huge difference over time. Coping in general occurs in a response to this psychological stress, and usually triggered by changes, like I said before. And in an effort to maintain your mental health and emotional being, you should look for different coping ways, right? So when looking at stress, we can either look at it as positive stress or negative stress. Both happen at all times, right? Life stress that's negative could be the death of a loved one, divorce, anything like that. Positive stress could be marriage, birth, moving, a new job. All of it is stress, good and bad. And coping strategies that are behaviors, thoughts, and emotions are used to actually adjust to that stress or change in your life. So essentially, coping skills increase your resilience because they help people learn how to properly handle negative emotions, panic attacks, and really other difficult situations. So when you effectively deal with these negative emotions or situations, you might also move on and let go of the negative feelings that are associated with that experience. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to talk about coping skills and kind of break it down and give you some examples of some really good ones that I like, and then help you kind of create your own list. So in my practice and also in my own personal life, I like to do an activity that's called the ABCs of coping skills. Basically, at the beginning of the month or whenever I feel like it, I take a sheet of paper, I use this thing, and then I letter it off from, let's see if I can see, A to Z. So you're gonna go all the way down, and then you'll make it A, B, C, all the way to Z, and you'll have 26. And you can format it however you may like. You can use index cards, whatever you like. But the concept is to have each letter represented. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a coping skill that starts with the corresponding letter. So for example, if you start with A, you can choose active, get active, move around, release those endorphins. If you choose B, breathing exercises, there's 100 amazing ones that are available online that are free, absolutely. And they range from guided meditation to yoga to everything under the sun. You can also just listen to music in the background and allow yourself and your mind to wander. H, hobby. A lot of people are picking up plants over the pandemic. They're adopting animals. A lot of people are learning to cook for the first time, going for walks, enjoying nature. So H for hobby. And then we'll do one more, V, since it is pandemic, virtual meetups, virtual hangouts, virtual date nights, virtual movie, game nights, all of that. So by the end of this list, you'll have 26 different coping skills at the tip of your fingers or on your refrigerator. Either or will work. You can create this ABC list of coping skills each month, like I said, and keep it handy so that whenever you feel like you are kind of like going through it, you can pick up a letter with a different coping skill, and you'll be amazed at how many different things you can think of just to take the stress away or unload. Before I finish, I would like to leave you with 4 pockets of advice. So the first one is pause, breathe, notice how you feel. The second one is take care of your body. Third one is reach out and stay connected. And the fourth one is don't forget to seek help if you're overwhelmed or feel unsafe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana. So can I just say I was definitely one of those people that had plants. I'm officially like a plant mom of maybe like 20 plants or something crazy. So it's been helping me get through this situation. So thank you so much. I see a lot of people in the comments saying that they really enjoyed that and all the tips that you shared. So I have a special guest tonight with us. She really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyways. The queen of soca. She embodies just everything that is feminine divinity. She's one of my heroes, one of my inspirations, and I know that you ladies will be very excited because I know you guys don't actually know who we have here either. So welcome to the screen, Miss Allison Hines. Welcome, beautiful.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was muted just now.
That's
Hi
okay.
everyone.
Welcome.
Hi, evening.
Time to be here.
Yes, usually at this time I would be in my bed because, I'm not as busy as I was as we were before, But I'm obviously, I'm not an expert in mental health, but I am a human being, and I am a person who, through this whole pandemic, I've tried my best to stay as positive as I can, and there have been times when um, it did feel a little bit difficult, and I know that like all of us are going through it in so many different ways. Um, I think for me, one of the ways that I was able to um, really kind of keep myself going, especially when we were in our first lockdown, was was the A from the alphabet, which was active, to stay active. Um, I've trained for, I've been doing training, I should say, exercising for a number of years, but because um, I was touring so much, the consistency wasn't there. So I decided to take this opportunity. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to be home. So why not just concentrate on that, focus on my training and exercising and keeping myself. I mean, my main thing was, Allison, you are not going to come out of quarantine bigger than you went in. Like that wasn't an option. So I was like, no. My trainer, he was definitely all on board for it. And that really helped me to keep going. When we were in our lockdown was like a 24-hour full lockdown, and I'm lucky enough to be able to live on a farm. Lots of people live in apartments and studio apartments, whatever, high-rise buildings. Some people live in houses where they might have a backyard to go outside. um, I live on a farm. And so I had the opportunity to still be able to go outside. I would train outside. I would use the back of my car. I would, I was going on lives, on my IG lives, on my page. I was doing all kinds of different things, just trying to think of ways to be able to keep my mind turning and keep things going. And because it's very easy to fall down the rabbit hole. It's very easy to start to worry. And once you start to worry about one thing, then something else adds into that, and you think of something else. You can always think of more things to worry about. And so I did my best to not let myself go down that particular rabbit hole. I was like, no, Allison, you need to be able to, to really kind of to be able to stick this out, and also being able to reconnect with my family has been a very awesome thing, with my daughter and my husband, and you know really kind of, it's almost like rediscovering, your family, because I was on the road so much. And I know there will be people in here whose job may not necessarily take them out of the country where they live, but it takes up a lot of time for whatever reason, because that's what the job entails. And so we get so caught up in life and in work and in, everything else, that we don't get that time to reconnect. And so this has been a great opportunity to be able to do that. And excuse me, all of that is what has helped to keep me um, as mentally healthy as I possibly can. Um, and I know it's challenging, and there are people out there who don't have family around for whatever reason and live by themselves, and it makes it that much harder. And I think about people like that, and I think about people who are, their only contact over the last year has been via, video chat, or, delivery, decide to have a conversation with the delivery person for the, minute or two that they're standing up at the door. Um, I actually have a cousin who came in from the UK. She came to see her mom, my aunt, and I went to pick her up after she came out of quarantine. She was cleared and everything. And I went and I hugged her. And I didn't even think about it. I hugged her and she was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't felt a hug in so long. Like these things that we took for granted, just a simple greeting, shaking hands, giving someone a hug or a kiss on the cheek, you know, these are things now that who would have thought that we would be living in a world where these things would be forbidden, just about, because it's like it's not encouraged for you to be near to people. You know, you have to social distance, and your elbow bump and your fist bump and all these kind of different things. And it's an adjustment. It is an adjustment for everybody. I'm a very huggy person. I'm the type of person that, I welcome hugs and I give hugs. And I've had to really change, my behavior in a way, because I know that, what the protocols are and so on. And it's challenging for all of us. And I think staying connected with your family, with your friends, um, staying connected with yourself, sometimes taking a little time just to center yourself and be quiet. And I'm still learning that. I'm still learning, how to just kind of be, and not do, and just be. um, and then maybe I've also taken this opportunity to be able to think about what else do I want to do? How else do I want to expand the brand that is Allison Hines? And I've started working on stuff. I've started working on merchandising. I've started working on different things, going into beauty and going into other stuff. It's COVID isn't all bad. It has the world in a mess, yes, but there are positives that we can take from having this time, um, to really focus, to learn who you are, to learn about the people around you, your family, maybe get to know them better. Um, and maybe to see, explore your own creativity. Um, but what I will end with is this thing, it has to come to an end at some point. We don't know when exactly, and we don't even quite know how. I don't think that COVID is going to disappear. I think we're going to have to learn to live with it in some form or fashion. And if that is the case, then we have to adapt. We have to adapt. We have to adjust. But we're all in this, and we're human beings. We are all human beings. None of us are made of anything else but flesh and blood and bones, and we have feelings. And as was said by the young lady before me, sometimes you do have to feel those feelings and understand them in order to be able to come out on the other side stronger. Thank you.
Ali, thank you so much for being here with us today on behalf of the GenX family. We appreciate you for taking time out. I know that it's late by you, so this really, really, really meant a lot for us that you're here to share your love and light. You know, anything that you're having, you need a Allison Hines to be a part of it, because the energy that you bring, the light that you shine is just so amazing. So thank you so much. You want to give us like a little bar or two just to lift the energy a little bit in the room, or online, I should say?
Yeah, sure. What do you want?
I can't let you go. I can't let you go unless you do that. No, whatever you feel.
Well, let me see. I don't want to wake up my child because she's sleeping.
Don't.
Because she has school in the morning. Well, online. She has online school.
We won't go too high.
Okay, so we'll go with the one that is that's the anthem. That's the women's anthem.
Yes.
When them fly up in your face, gal, make them know them place number one in the race, gal, could never replace. Independent and you're strong, gal, and you set the pace. Fit and healthy living long, gal. Free yourself, gal, you got class and you got pride. Come together, cause we're stronger, unified. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal. Roll, control it, gal, roll it, gal.
I've made my own sound effects, by the way. They're going to be coined the Kara sound effects. But thank you. Your voice is so beautiful, Ali. This was Ali Unplugged. Yes, Nat. Again, right. Ali, thank you. The GenX family is forever grateful for you being here today. And, we will definitely continue to support you. Everyone that's tuned in, make sure you check out Allison Hines on her social media, stream her music, support her. She's a beautiful soul, both inside and out. And we are just so thankful to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Mwah. Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Okay. So I see some flames and some hearts and all this good stuff in the chat. Did you guys love it? Okay. So if you're in the chat right now, drop some flames. I'm going to act like I'm a DJ. Drop some flames if you guys were feeling the vibe, if you guys enjoyed Allison's little, unplugged session. And if you guys are just enjoying the conversation on a whole, make sure you guys share the link. We're going to be on here for a little bit longer. We still have 2 more speakers to go. So please share the link. Tell them to come on and hold a space with us. Next up, we have Ashley Husbands. Ashley Husbands has worked in the crisis intervention and suicide prevention field since 2012. She has a passion for advocating for the most vulnerable populations and linking people to resources in their community. Her mission is to help increase accessibility to mental care to all those in need. Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. And the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm excited to be one.
We have a little bit of feedback from your end. Maybe try turning your mic off and then turning back on again. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
Still, it sounds like you're kind of an alien a little bit. Do you have something, are you on your laptop or your phone?
I am.
Okay, now I see your lips moving, but I don't actually hear you. It's okay. It's all good. We are all slowly adjusting to this digital space, so I'm sure that the audience does not mind while we get this together. You're on your laptop or you're on your phone? Okay, are your headphones connected right now? Maybe disconnect your headphones and just speak.
What about now? Anything?
It's kind of the same. Do you have external computer speakers? Because that could be an issue as well. It's just your laptop, your regular laptop?
Regular laptop.
Okay, let's try this. Do you have your phone with you? Maybe just log on from your phone. Yeah, so just use the same link and I'll add you back to the stream. Thank you everyone for bearing with us. Give us just 1 minute for us to get this going.
In the meantime, if y'all want, y'all can drop in the chat where y'all are from, where you rep. That.
Yes, and we will be having a question and answer period at the end. So please get your questions ready. We'll pick probably 3 to 5 questions that we will have the expert panelists touch on. So just drop them in the comments and then we'll have someone from our team pull those questions after. So please start writing your questions in there and we would be happy to answer them. Let's see if she's back on yet. And how are you guys doing today? Are you guys, getting a lot of gems from this conversation? We got Jamaica in the house, Chicago, Miami. Okay. And our speakers are also from a very diverse backgrounds as well. We have Trinidad, we have Jamaica, we have Grenada. Where else do we have? Santa, where are you from?
My parents are from Pakistan.
Right, see, so we're all over, we're global.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like she's back on. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, what about now?
Better, we are perfect, we are ready to go.
Perfect.
All right, again, thanks for bearing with us, guys. So Ashley, you have the stage, my love.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for being patient. I know we're used to this with COVID and trying to work from home and adapting, so I appreciate it a lot. I was starting to say that I'm very excited to be a part of this discussion, and I was whining in my chair to Allison Hines. That's my favorite song. I put it on every time I'm feeling down. So I'm very excited to be able to hear from her live and in the flesh. So I am a suicide prevention specialist. I've been in the field for about 8 years now, and I got into it kind of by accident. I wanted to become a therapist and get into mental health, and then started to work for a crisis hotline and was just in amazement at how many resources there were for people, being able to talk to people who are at risk and just be there for them and be that light for them and be that listening ear. I haven't looked back since, and I'm very happy to be in this field. So I am going to pivot us just a little bit to talk about suicide prevention, and it is a heavier topic, but I promise that by the end of it, you will leave feeling like you can do something about this, empowered, and feel that you have the tools necessary to help yourself as well. That's my goal. So it starts with a conversation. As the wonderful panelists have already talked about, coping skills are very important, and talking about how you feel is important too. And so for us to help others and to help ourselves, we need to practice being vulnerable, opening up, and not being afraid to talk about suicide or mention it. Oftentimes it's uncomfortable to talk about, but it's so necessary, because when someone's in such a dark place, they need to unleash, they need to let go of what is burdening them and holding them down and making them feel so low. And that's where we can come in as loved ones, as friends, to be that listening ear and to help them out. And we have to call our friends out as well when they say, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. We know our friends, we know our family, and we can say something's off, something's up, let's talk and get people to know that we're a safe place for them to unload how they're feeling. That's really where it starts. The other part of this is knowing what resources are available. So in the States, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is a great place to start. You can call them, they're 24/7. It's 1-800-273-8255. You can also go to the suicidepreventionlifeline.org website to locate a local crisis center. Sometimes people find that's more helpful to find a place that's right in their area and convenient for them. You can go right on that website, put in your zip code, and find an area that's close to you. Everyone there, trained counselors, they can talk to you. You don't have to be suicidal or be thinking about suicide to call them. You can be in a dark place and say, you know what, I know myself, and I think I need to talk to someone right away. And that's perfectly fine. If you're like me, I'm not big on phone conversations, so they also have opportunities for you to chat online. There's also a crisis text line as well for those who like to chat on text. For my international friends, we have the International Association for Suicide Prevention website as well, where you can do the same thing. Find resources, locate your counselor in your area, and there are online options for chatting as well. And I also recommend having a regular therapist. There's some wonderful ones on the panel today that have been talking with us. Get yourself someone that you can talk to and just go through your plan in life and where you want to see yourself and how to get those great coping skills and find a plan for yourself. It's really great, and it's going to help you out in the long run. We mentioned a lot about coping skills today, and I saw people writing the things that they love to do. Some people wrote journaling. I like to listen to Allison Hines and try to dance in my living room. Whatever makes you smile and makes you feel good and puts you in a healthy place. You want to try to remember those coping skills and jot them down, as has been mentioned before. And you also want to jot down and pay attention to your triggers too. What are those things that cause you to feel overwhelmed? Why do you want to write those things down? It's been mentioned before as well with Sana that when your brain is in crisis mode, you're not going to be thinking as clearly as you would when it's not. So when you have those things jotted down, maybe even in your phone, then you have it handy for if you are in a crisis situation. You know those coping skills that you need to do. You know what your triggers were. And beneath that, you can write down those resources. Other resources are people, your family, your friends. And what I always like to tell people is, as you're writing down your family and friends that you might want to call, jot a little note next to why you would call them. So for me, I might call my mom because I want to vent. But I might call my sister if I want a good laugh. And I might call my best friend if I want to hear what the latest gossip is and just take my mind off of things. That way you know, okay, what type of mood am I in today? Who do I want to call to keep myself well? And then beneath that, you can put your emergency contacts. Usually that's a therapist, or if you're really, really feeling unsafe, it could be 911. But that's in extreme cases. But you want to have that handy and have that with you at all times so that when you are in a dark place, you can access that readily and just go through the list. And that is what is called creating a safety plan for yourself. And you can give that advice to a loved one as well and tell them how to jot those things down. Suicide is a very serious topic. It is scary at times to talk about, but it's necessary. And when we do, we can normalize that people have those thoughts and that we can be able to help others. We can help ourselves because we all want you here. You all have something beautiful and unique to offer the world, and we want you here to share it with us. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was super informative. And again, I'm seeing people saying that they're really happy for the tips and so on. So thank you, Alicia. Next up, sorry, Ashley. Next up, we have Alicia. So Alicia has been an advocate for mental health since 2011. Her passion for helping people led her to wear many hats in the world of child welfare to behavioral health services. Her mission is to help one person one day at a time. Her unapologetic passion for mental health awareness will now be a lifetime goal in the memory of her sister, Shai. Her motto is one life, one day, and multiple reasons to try. If we don't talk about it, then how can we fix it? Thank you, Alicia, for being here today.
Hi, guys.
I know this is not going to be an easy one, so let me just tell you again on behalf of the GenX family, thank you for being here to share your story, share your journey, and just share some insight into this very, very important topic.
Thank you so much. You're right. It's not going to be easy, but I will get through this as much as I can. If I do become emotional, I apologize.
Sending hugs from the Caribbean.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kara and the GenX family, for putting this mental health project together. On behalf of the Lada family, we offer our sincerest gratitude to everyone for their love and continued support on this grief journey that will be part of us for a very long time. As much as I wanted to speak freely and flow without reading, I find that reading for me is the only way I'll be able to get through this moment. I want to make sure that I'm clear on the message and that all four of us are impactful today in this movement. I had a paragraph on what I did and what my title is, but I just decided to scratch that last minute, so we'll pretend I told you. Now that the formalities are out of the way, I want to tell you how life has been since Shai left. When I was approached about this forum, I was on board before Natalie finished her sentences. Little did she know, I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. I just was not ready. Apparently, the universe has its own plans as usual. In this platform, I feel like I'm amongst family. No, really, I feel like I know all of you. I know backpacks have feelings, and Carnival is life. You guys were Shai's world, and it truly felt like she was in Carnival mode 365. So when I began thinking of how I wanted to do this, I could only think of one way, in true Shai fashion. I'm going to tell you how it is unapologetically. So let's begin. I've always wanted to be in the helping profession. From a young age, the importance of my voice and being the voice of the voiceless became a personal mission. Just like any profession or career, we always use our abilities to help our friends and family. That's been my life in a nutshell. Being a person someone can talk to gave me personal satisfaction of feeling like I was helping spread hope. Growing up, me and my siblings would have our normal arguments, and I would be the one trying to explain how the other one felt. Needless to say, being an older sister automatically was training me to be a therapist. On October 24th, 2019, at 3:13 p.m., I got a call from my brother that our sister was no longer in this physical world. Since then, until now, the conversations about mental health and transparency have been the forefront of any and all conversations. We check in more, normalize the need to reach out, and give reminders that we are here for each other. That day and that time, my life changed. Mental health has always had a stigma that if you need help, you are weak. If you talk to a therapist, something is wrong with you. Or the biggest one I normally hear is, you don't need therapy, they're going to put you on medication. All of these cannot be farther from the truth. Let me ask you this. When something happens in your life, who do you call? When you're sad or mad and cannot rationalize your emotions, who do you turn to? The same way that we reach out to talk about our problems with friends and family is no different than seeking a mental health therapist when the emotions get too big. Well, yes, there is one difference. A therapist can help you prioritize your big thoughts. They help you separate the real issue versus the collective mountain of thoughts that are clouding your judgment. I say this because I want to show you how normal mental health and reaching out for help really is. It's a big deal. My hopes are that we can work towards breaking the stigma. We heard a lot about coping skills today, and I know we all follow some influencer who seems to have it all together, and we think, man, how can I be that peaceful and that damn still on the inside? Every year, I buy at least 2 cute journals that end up being sketchbooks for other things. Not all coping skills fit everyone. For Shai, her coping skills included music, preferably soca, or dancehall, food, TV, and hookah. She enjoyed eating her favorite sushi roll and binging on shows all night. Or she would just randomly drive to Tampa and show up at my door. You see, Coping with emotions that anyone has ever felt in a time of pain, sadness, disappointment, anger, loss is not abnormal. It's when we cannot regulate, meaning we can't process the emotions before they get too big, is where sometimes lies the issue. If I have made it this far and have not cried, then I'm going to take this moment as a win. Going last from all the other beautiful and educated speakers is no easy feat, partly because anything we talked about is nothing short of skills I have tried to utilize myself. You know how they say doctors make the worst patients? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Alicia, and I'm actively working on my PTSD, depression, and anxiety. 3 months after Shai passed, I was lost. I did not grieve the way I wanted to and threw myself into work. Why? Because I had to be strong for everyone else. I thought if I kept going, then others who suffered the loss with me would also keep going. At 6 months, my friends, who some of them are therapists, began to sing the same tune I would tell my clients. Allie, you need to talk to someone. And my response would be, what can a therapist tell me that I don't already know? Well, my therapist told me to stop being a martyr. She told me I was no good to anyone if I didn't practice what I preach. So I began to collect my tools and started being transparent. First, I told my family I was not okay. So they increased their check-ins, not realizing that their phone calls would pull me out of my head most of the time. Second, I told my friends that I'm not the same and that I needed their patience with me. If you knew my friends, our lives are constantly evolving, and I had to tell them that I needed their help being present. Third, I had to relearn how to have patience. My boyfriend had a hand in this lesson, and it was a very hard lesson to relearn. I told him that I was not the same and that I had changed. He taught me how to grow plants. At first, I was not into that until I saw the first sprouts. I learned that day that sometimes I need to be watered and cared for, and that is okay. Happy to say, I now have a full garden in my house. Lastly, I joined a grief sibling group. I saw how many siblings felt the same way as me or had been through the same emotions as me. I found my tribe, a tribe you could only understand if you were a sibling. I tried to sit with my emotions, learn to grieve as a sister, and began helping others. I took my pain and turned it into healing moments. Overall, I learned the biggest impact I could make in the memory of my sister was to get help when I needed it and to ask for it unapologetically from my friends and my family. Aside from friends and family, I have strangers who have become friends. What they taught me is that there are more people struggling around us than we know. And the ones who hide it the best are the strong ones. I leave you with some thoughts to think over. 1, if you were not in this world anymore, the decision to go would not only affect you, it affects those who love you, their friends, who love them, and their friends after that. 2, you are always so keen on helping others. There is nothing wrong with getting help yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. 3, engulf yourself in your community. Build your toolbox of coping skills and people you know you can count on when you need it. These become your lifelines. 4, normalize helping yourself or friends get mental health services if they need it, or point them our way. That in of itself is doing something. 5, be reminded that my door is open. Well, virtual door because, COVID. I'm here to listen and can be a support for you when you need it most. 6, if you search for mental health services on Google, you would find therapists, support groups, and community resources for your area. You would be surprised to find out how many people feel or are going through the same things you are. Learn these resources. You never know when you or someone else might need them. Lastly, remember to check in with the strong ones. They have been so busy being there for others and that neglecting themselves has become a habit. My sister always checked on everyone else. Forgive more, love more, learn to get comfortable with transparency and communication. More importantly, normalize mental health and the need to seek help when you need it. One life, one day at a time, you matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. I am literally teary-eyed, as I imagine that everyone in the audience and as I can see on the panel is as well. That was absolutely beautiful. And I know that Shai is shining down from heaven with us today. So thank you so much for being open to sharing with us, like I said, and for being a part of this. I think I'm actually going to run the video tribute because I know a lot of people came in a little bit late as well. So we'll just take a minute to run the video. In the meantime, you guys can put your questions in the chat group and I will put them on the screen and the speakers can take a stab at it. But I will let you guys see this amazing tribute video that was done from the GenX family.
Sometimes you love too hard, sometimes you go too far. No, I won't want you if you need me. Real things do not come easy, no. Never been your average girl. So take time with me, take time. Baby, talk to me with some action. We could find a place for your passion, no. Cool down someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love.
The message for tonight is definitely forgive more, love more. So we will take a couple of questions. I see that Natasha Andrews has said, my elderly friend had to retire because of COVID. I think he is a little depressed because he has never been forced to stop work. He won't go to see a therapist. What can I do? So any of you ladies can take a, take a stab at this.
One option is the online resources. They have, church online. There's different groups for people. Even if he's not tech savvy, I do have older clients who will, over the phone or, they'll find ways to just connect with other people because this pandemic, it's prolonged. It's an ongoing, process. So maybe just connecting him with support in his community. And then it doesn't have to be about the specific topic of depression, but just having that human connection is priceless. Good question, Natasha.
Does anyone else want to chime in on that? I see Caleb pretty much asked the same question. What do you do in case you know someone who's depressed but doesn't want the help? Alicia or Sana?
Yeah. So help comes in many different forms, right? Just going to a therapist isn't the end all solution, right? So your main focus point, like she said, was just trying to get them engaged within the community. And that could be through various different ways, right? Getting them involved in a project, getting them involved with a support group, basically kind of trying to take them out of their funk and engaged with other aspects of parts of who they are, and that way they can have something else to kind of look forward to and grow with. So definitely, I mean, going to a therapist, if they're against it right now and it's not for them and they're resistant to it, we want to find different ways to keep them still engaged with other people.
Thank you, Sana. Alicia or Ashley, would you guys like to chime in on that?
No, I agree with what Sana said.
Okay. Awesome. And we have Christina. So Alicia, thank you for sharing your story. My question is, did you feel regret when Shai passed? If so, how did you overcome it? I lost my brother 6 years ago and still cannot get over the regret. Christina, please accept my condolences, my love.
Christina, my condolences as well. Losing a sibling is never easy. For me, yes, to answer your question point blank is yes, I did feel regret. I think for me, it was more because I am the eldest and I knew her very well, and I'm also a therapist. For me, it was hard because I felt like maybe I didn't do enough. And it took time through therapy for me to go ahead and accept the fact that I did everything that I could, and this was just not a decision that I was able to stop.
Thank you, Alicia. And we have one last question from Natalie. How far is too far when you think someone is suicidal, refuses help, and you don't want to invade their space or risk ruining the relationship/friendship? You ladies can just unmute yourself and go ahead.
I can start with this. I would say if you feel like your friend or someone that you really care about is at risk, they have some sort of weapon or means, or they're making plans, I think you going above and beyond to get them that help, and it could look like you calling the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and getting some tips on how to help them, is what's going to keep them here. And even if they might be mad at you for a little bit, it's coming from a place of being caring, of caring for them, of wanting them to be with us. And so I think there is no too far. I think you have to do all that you can to keep your loved one here.
For me, if a person is refusing help, I have to think about, yes, I do care about the friendship, but me having these conversations with you and encouraging you to get help, even offering to go with you, is your life is worth more for me in that moment than our friendship. And I will invade your space.
That's as real as it gets. Sana, this is the last question, so I guess you ladies can all chime in on this.
Yeah, sure. I think it also ties into the last question too, in terms of like regret and guilt. You don't want to have that over you, right? You want to do everything you can in your power to kind of help prevent that act of taking place. So there's no question when it comes to what's the end of possibilities that you could do for someone who needs help. If you have a friend who needs help, help them. Whether they recognize it, realize it or not, if they've mentioned to you that they need help, they have a plan, they have an intent, help them. And if you don't know how, then, the suicide helpline, anybody in your community, even 911, even a safety check will work. But definitely don't shy away from getting help, because what happens one day when it goes too far?
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Miss Simone.
Hi. So that's a really great question. For trained professionals, we're taught to decipher between active suicidal ideation, what we call passive. So that's something that we examine, but obviously the average person is not a trained mental health professional. So it's important to refer that person to services. Sometimes people make decisions based on temporary emotions or financial issues that they're going through, and it does have this ripple effect, right? So that's really important, is that you just give them that support, even if in that moment they don't appreciate it. In the long term, that appreciation is there from the community. And I also wanted to share some resources for everyone in the chat and on the YouTube. There is Therapy for Black Girls. There's a directory of providers. They have a podcast. There's a Facebook group, Black Men Heal. BetterHelp is an option, which is a worldwide resource. There's Melanin and Mental Health. That's an option. Psychology Today has different providers on there. In Jamaica, there's Jamhan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, which is Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network. And South Florida has 211. That's a good number to call. When I was working in South Florida, Hillsborough County as well in Florida has 211, which gives you more information. Because I know some people feel uncomfortable calling 911, so there's non-emergency numbers you can call. There's crisis hotlines that are available. You have tons of options and resources to link people to. Great questions.
Yes, that was an amazing question. Thank you. Ladies, thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us. Wait, I'm not on mute. Okay. Thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us, sharing all of these gems and just, sharing your journey as well as all of this information surrounding mental health. We appreciate you guys on behalf of Gen X. And I also want to say thank you to the Gen X committee members. Special thanks to Natalie Pouchette, Diamond, Asha, Monet, Dominique, Tajay, and the rest of the team. This could not have been possible without you guys. Special thank you as well to Miss Allison Hines, Soca Royalty, for being here with us. A lot of you guys may have missed it in the beginning, but my name is Cara Donnell, and I am also very thankful to have been part of such a meaningful project. Alicia, my heart goes out to you and your family. Sending you guys just so much love and light on behalf of the Gen X family. You guys who are tuned in, make sure you guys look out for future episodes. We'll be focusing on different things. So Project Music, Project Carnival. We would love to hear from you guys. So if you have any feedback from today's conversation or you have any topics, it can be fun, it can be informative, just send us a DM at GenX Carnival, or you can send us an email, info@genxcarnival.com. We would love to hear from you guys. Just send us whatever you guys want us to talk about. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms. And again, thank you to everyone who was in the audience. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for, all the emojis. Thank you for staying so interactive with us. Ladies, if you guys have any final thoughts, you can feel free to share them now.
I just want to thank all of you panelists as well for all that you guys did. And, on behalf of our family, and we're all family to Shai. So, thank you so much for sending out the message. And this means a lot to me and Sana for you to have us present. And we appreciate the opportunity to continue Shai's message.
We could not have done this without you guys. Okay, my pores are literally raised. This could not have been possible without you ladies. So again, thank you. I'm not going to stop saying it. Thank you so much for making this possible for us as well.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Well, I guess that's it. To everyone in the chat, don't forget to subscribe to Gen X Carnival. Check out the ladies, Ashley, Simone, Sana, Alicia, myself. We're all on Instagram. You guys can also send a DM to the pages if you want to get more information on the panelists. We'd be happy to send you their profiles and so on. They're also on our page right now. But again, thank you all. Please keep safe out there. Check on the strong ones, like Alicia said. Check on the strong ones. They need it. They need it. So you guys stay safe. Continue to be a blessing to others and continue to stay blessed. All right, guys. Thank you again, ladies. Have a beautiful night. And thank you for being here tonight.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.